All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. I just wanted to make another quick update going over the total market cap. I also wanted to go over what happened in today and how I talked about it in yesterday's video. So first, this is the video from yesterday on the 25th, and I want to go ahead and play this video real quick because this is what I was looking for in the video yesterday. We did front run the 0.5, and I want to talk about this because your wave 2, generally you want it to be longer than your wave 4, you want to be longer than your wave 2. So you can see our wave 2 took 1 day and 2 hours of a correction over the weekend. That was on Saturday. Now, if we take the same measurement of our highs from wave 3 down to our potential lows of wave 4, you can see it only took 14 hours. So it is shorter in time, which is not a clean invalidation, but it is I would say it's a concern here. And so what I'm looking at now with us coming up here and hitting the 886 and rejecting, because we did front run the 0.5, now we have a liquidity grab into the 0.5 at the bottom of our ascending channel. This could be an A, B, C correction in our fourth wave, kind of like a descending channel here in our fourth wave before coming up to our fifth wave targets here. Okay, so I was talking about that yesterday before this happened. Now if we come in on our Bitcoin chart, we can see, let me zoom in onto the 1 hour chart. Let's go ahead and look at this. Look at this. We ended up forming a descending channel, forming a ABC, and seeing that sweep of the lows into the 0.5. We actually pushed past that 0.5 a bit, but we did not hit our invalidation, being the 618, into the bottom of the descending channel, and we're getting the move up. So just based off Elliott wave theory, we were able to kind of analyze the charts and see what was the most probable scenario to happen. That scenario so far is happening, but once again, I just put out a video a few minutes ago, a very short update. We are at the golden pocket, and I do not like the way we moved up to the golden pocket, because from these lows, we really needed to see an impulse up to the wave 5 targets. So far, we are seeing more of a 3-wave zigzag corrective move into our golden pocket, where then we could look for a potential rejection based off market structure. So if we go ahead and take that and we go to our golden pocket, you can see right now we are at the golden pocket and we are potentially rejecting from the golden pocket. That's why I just took profit on the long here. Because we did break market structure bearishly, technically. We have our first low. We have our high, first of all. Our first low coming in. A lower high up to the 886. Now a lower low. So now that we have broken market structure bearishly, we can look for a lower high back test. And if we do reject from the lower high back test, which is usually between the golden pocket and the 786, which is near the top of the channel, if we do reject from this area, we could roll over and make new lows because market structure is shifting bearishly. So far, we have made it up to the golden pocket and our trade is a win based off of that. But we might not make it up to our fifth wave targets and we might start to roll over. And if we do end up touching the 618, our impulse will be invalidated, meaning that the 88.6K resistance that I've been watching for weeks on the chart could have been it, and we might end up rolling over and seeing a bigger drop to the downside. We were looking for this resistance to be the potential end of this correction all the way from 76.6 for weeks now, and it is happening. It's maybe happening, I'll say. But based off of this descending channel, we know that descending channels break up about 2/3 of the time. They break to the upside. We can look for that break up to our wave 5 targets and then maybe see that correction down. After we hit our wave 5 target, I really am looking on a bigger correction to the downside. And why am I looking at a bigger correction? Because we have a series of 3-wave moves. 3-wave move, 3-wave move, and then we have our final 1, 2, 3-wave move with our potential third wave being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with our C in the ABC being a 5-wave impulse. So that is kind of what we're watching for on the Bitcoin chart. If we start to lose our ascending channel, we could flush quickly. And if that happens, I would just be looking at our volume profile of our bigger intermediate range. So let's go ahead and zoom out to the hourly chart, and we can just pull that volume profile. And where I'm pulling it from is the end of this impulse down. We know we had a clear impulse down here. You know, starting with the Bybit hack, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you could count it as a double 1, 2. Either way, whatever you count it, it's an impulse down. After that impulse down, we had that 3-wave Trump tweet weekend where he tweeted about the reserve, which pumped the price crazily. But it was a 3-wave structure, which means it's a corrective structure. Since that area, since the end of the impulse, I am taking my volume profile from the end of the prior impulse and pulling it sideways during this whole big corrective action here. And you can see we are rejecting from the value area high at 88,600. If we start to lose our ascending channel structure, we can look for a move down first and foremost to the point of control. If the point of control doesn't hold, then we look for a move down to the value area low, where we do have our weekly and naked daily point of control and the golden pocket pull of the more macro move. So the golden pocket from our lows all the way up to our highs, our golden pocket is right in this box. A lot of confluence for support down between, 81K and 80.4. That is what we're looking at here on Bitcoin. Let's go into the total market cap. I want to talk about this total market cap because this is another reason why I do think we could push a little bit higher on Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. Total market cap, as you know, measures the entire crypto market, including Bitcoin. Well, for the longest time during this whole cycle, pretty much, we've been trading in this pitchfork. Now, last time I talked about this, I was really getting concerned because we were starting to develop some price action at the bottom of this pitchfork and having trouble reclaiming it. Well, with the Trump tweet thing that happened, we pumped up to the band and had a clear rejection from the band, and then in an ABC correction, let me zoom on to like the 6-hour chart. In a clear 3-wave ABC correction, we pumped up to the channel lower band, which was holding as support. Through all of this, it was holding as support. Now that we broke it to the downside and broke the pitchfork to the downside, you can see a little bit of rejection, busted back into the pitchfork, rejected. It turned into resistance, we rejected. Then we saw a clear ABC to the downside. Look at where we ended that ABC correction. On the back test of our value area high from our prior range. So I'm going to zoom out on the chart so we can get a better look at that. We're going to go onto the daily chart. And if we look at this value area high, look at the volume of our prior 7-month accumulation range, reaccumulation in 2024 for like 7 or 8 months of 2024. We busted out of that to the upside in an impulse. Now, ever since then, we've been in a downtrend correcting. And this is equal, this value area high is kind of equal to where Bitcoin would be at 72 to 70K, where Bitcoin has a golden pocket from its 49K lows up to its all-time high. Now, I know this is not Bitcoin, but this is just mirroring the price action. Bitcoin has a low just like this, and it has a range just like this, except this high is a little bit higher. Didn't happen on the total market cap because alts didn't pump as much. But if we look at that golden pocket, Bitcoin's golden pocket is on top of the value area high of the prior range. Well, the total market cap, the golden pocket, happens to be right where the point of control is. So just a little bit of speculation that overall total market cap could drop a bit lower to where the highest volume of our last reaccumulation range was, in confluence with our more macro golden pocket. Okay, so knowing that, but look at where we bounced. We bounced from the value area high to the dollar. Came down. What used to be our resistance in our overbought area, we busted above it, came back down, back tested it, and we're seeing a bounce now. For the past couple weeks, we're seeing a bounce on the total market cap. But anytime you break a major trend like this pitchfork that has been the trend for most of the bull market, you can see this, most of the bull market, we've been trending in this pitchfork. We are finally starting to lose it and close multiple weekly and daily candles underneath it. So now what do we look for? We look for a bearish back test of the pitchfork. And if we reject, we come lower. So we haven't quite got up to the bearish backtest yet. You can see it's just a bit higher than we are right now. If Bitcoin and altcoins decide to make one more push up, maybe Bitcoin to 91K, altcoins, you know, some of them are at their big point of controls. Thing I'm trying to say is we could see one more push up in the markets in this entire corrective price action that we've been seeing. One more push up to get everyone hyper bullish. We're going to new all-time highs, hit into our resistance, which used to be support, reject, and now make new lows. So very, very important to watch this total chart to see if we reject on the bearish backtest of this pitchfork. Because if we do, I do have a strong feeling we will roll over and come down lower. And then that means Bitcoin would probably come down to its 70K levels. That's it for the total market cap. And other than that, guys, nothing else is happening too much on the charts. Ethereum, I mean, let's zoom in onto the hourly chart. Ethereum, we were looking at the descending channel yesterday. We were looking at some trying to find support at the lows of the descending channel with our golden pocket and our one-to-one correction target. Well, we did bust a little bit past that, but you can see we backtested that value area high that we were also talking about backtesting. Our previous range value area high, we talked about anytime you break it to the upside, oftentimes in a healthy market, you'll backtest it as support to see if you want to continue higher. Well, we did break out of this descending channel. I'm just going to delete this. We did deviate our bigger ascending channel, but we did bounce from the value area high bullish backtest, and we are back within the channel. So as long as we can maintain this channel now after bullishly backtesting this value area high, Ethereum could probably come up a little bit higher. Now, I don't know if we're going to make it all the way up to our 2200 to 2215 resistance. We might reject at the midline or at the daily at 2081. But we are still seeing what we were looking for. Solana. Solana is rejecting from the point of control, which we knew was a major range point of control, a year-long range point of control. Let me zoom out onto the daily. We've been looking at this giant range from the March 2024. We bounced from the value area low after reclaiming it, pushed up to our point of control where we were expecting resistance to come in, to find resistance. We wick past it up to the value area high of our intermediate range, the same exact range that we're looking at on Bitcoin, like time right after the Trump tweet, or right before the Trump tweet, right after the big impulse down, right before the Trump tweet. We have this same intermediate range. You can see we did come up perfectly to touch the value area high of that range, just like Bitcoin's 88.6K value area high, and we are dropping. Now on Solana, I did talk about the bullish backtest of the pitchfork, which was once acting as resistance to the dollar multiple times, now flipping to support. We front ran that, and also we have that naked daily point of control at 131, which is in confluence with the bottom of the pitchfork band, which I do think we could make our way down here as well. But that means we would start breaking this trend to the upside, and we could look for maybe a bounce here, come up to make a lower high, and then continue pushing down. So that's it for Solana. We are rejecting from the point of control, and I was expecting to see a bit of a rejection from this area. If we can break this area, we're coming up to 154 to 156. If we start to dump and we got our pitchfork band of support, first and foremost at around, 135, and then 131 is the lower part of the pitchfork band. If we break that down, we have these supports that I talked about in prior videos. So if you guys want to watch that, go into the video yesterday. Okay, AVAX. Or no, not AVAX. I'm sorry. XRP. XRP is pretty much doing nothing. We talked about yesterday. It's kind of doing nothing. It's just chopping around the point of control of the range. We did reject from the value area high of the range. We did come back and backtest the daily. You can see we wick past it, but we are kind of floating around right around that daily right now. The naked weekly point of control, because we front ran it the other day, yesterday, we just busted straight through it this time. So we're going to delete this naked weekly point of control. It didn't give us a reaction. The daily is giving us a little bit of a reaction, and we're trying to kind of find support in this general area and make another push up. I'm not so sure it's going to. We do have, I was looking at this as a possible A, B, C correction into the value area high, and now to see a three-wave correction down So if we take our trend-based Fibonacci from the highs, the start of wave A to the lows of wave A to the highs of wave B, we turn on our correction target zone between the 1-to-1 and the 1-2-3-6. You can see the daily around 228 is around where our 1-to-1 target in our ABC correction would end, if this is going to be an ABC target to the downside. And then, of course, the 1.236 is right near our other support level. So I do think that it is possible that XRP continues down a little bit more. But overall, it's just chopping in this bigger range, and we just play the range until it breaks. Now that we're breaking the value area low, ultimately we could look for a move down. Now that we're breaking the point of control, we can look for a move down eventually to the value area low. But that doesn't mean we won't see nice bounces along the way. Okay, that is it for XRP. Let's now go to Chainlink. Chainlink is kind of, doing the same thing, guys. We're just chopping in the channel, and now I know this channel is a bit different. We've broken it to the downside and held below it for a bit. Then we reclaimed it, backtested. I checked out the deviation of this channel going from this low to this low. It's not as good to me. It doesn't have as much respect, so I left the old channel on there. We did see a little bit of a rejection yesterday from our resistance, but you can see we just came down back to the bottom of the channel and pushed up above our resistance. Saw that small drop today. We're right back in this resistance area around the value area high. We're just chopping around the value area high, the range. But one thing that does look kind of nice is we're not really seeing the rejections like we are in some of the other coins. You can see right now we're above the value area high, and we're trying to flip it to support. So if we can flip this to support, I do think we can make our way up higher, where actually I would be looking primarily, yes, we do have the 786 and a value area high of a different range up in this area here. Now that value area high of the smaller range, it was our previous area before, like this guy here. You can see the value area highs up there. But now that this range is kind of developed more, I don't like that level as much, because now you need to pull your volume profile all the way, and you can see it shifts the value area high down a little bit. So we do have a 786 in value area high up here, but actually what I want to do is I don't want to look at that too much anymore. I would much rather look at this guy here, the daily into the naked weekly point of control at 17 to 17.2, because you can see it's also would be around the midline of our channel. So that is the area now I am looking for. If we can flip this point value area high to support, I am looking for a move up to 17 to 17.2. Money flow looks still strong, 4-hour chart. So I do think that it is possible that Chainlink gets a move up to 17.2. Once we get up there, if we are seeing bear divs, I will look to short this. And last one here, Cardano. Cardano is just chopping in its sideways range. It's even more sideways than most of these coins. Most of these coins are having like an ascending channel type of range. And you can see we deviated above the value area high, back tested the value area high along with the bigger channel midline, pushed up, but we couldn't even make it to our resistance. And then now we're back within the value area. We got re-acceptance back within the value area. We are around the value area high, but you can see once again we're rejecting from the value area high in the channel midline. So if we're rejecting from the value area high in the channel midline like we are right now, and we start to lose this point of control, we can look for a move down to the value area low. And if we go ahead and do our golden pocket pull, we're just going to do it from the lows of the range, not the ultimate low, the lows of this sideways range. There. Okay, so that's kind of where we bounced already. We front ran that. No, let's look at the actual lows then. Yeah, okay. I don't like where the value area low is in this range because we don't have confluence with either of these golden pockets. So what I would suggest then is looking for maybe a deviation of this value area low into the golden pocket, taking this liquidity and then seeing a reacceptance back into the value area and pushing up. But overall, I do think all these coins are going to make new lows. So maybe Cardano does not, maybe it does something like this, breaks, oops. We're rejecting now, small bounce here, come down, bounce here, maybe come back to the point of control, reject that, and then continue down. Making higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. That's just kind of what I'm looking for. Not too much else to cover on any of these coins. We're really just range trading, and Bitcoin was exciting today. We did get a trade today, a live trade, which was nice to walk everyone through. Taking profit on the trade, and now we're just waiting. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you guys got anything out of this video, please like the video, please share the video, and please subscribe to the channel if you feel guided to. I do try to put out a video every day, kind of guiding you through my perspective on the markets. If you get value out of that, I would appreciate it if you just show your support by hitting the like button and sharing and subscribing. So thank you for that. I will see you tomorrow.